Where do salty old cops go to retire? Stick around, I'm gonna show you. All right, today's video, we are up in Athol, Idaho. In my opinion, it's where most cops go to retire. Here's the call I get all the time. Hey, yeah, I'm retiring from such and such department and I wanna buy 10 acres and not see another soul for the rest of my life. Does that sound familiar? Yes, probably does. But let me tell you, you will find that when you move up here, people are actually really cool. So you may not want to never see anybody again the rest of your life. You'll find that there's a lot of people just like you up here with that same mindset. A lot of them have done the same job or close to it, and you will be able to relate and build a really good sense of community. And I think Athol is one of those places that is really well suited for that. So I'm gonna show you around Athol. We're standing in Farragut State Park right now, which is a beautiful feature in Athol, and give you guys some stats on what it's like to live here. So let's go take a tour of this cool town in North Idaho. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button and tap the notifications bell so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content. Our real estate team gets calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you trying to learn more about North Idaho. So if you guys are thinking about making that move right now or 12 months from now, give us a call, text, or email. Let's get that conversation started. All right, so Athol is located in Kootenai County, Idaho. Kootenai County has a population of about 185,000 people. And Athol itself, at least within the city limits, is under 1,000 in population. Now you've got a lot of outlying areas in unincorporated Kootenai County that would surround Athol, which would bring that population up a little bit more. So the other thing I like about North Idaho is that, I often say this, it is the highest concentration of former first responders and veterans anywhere in the US. And if I keep saying it, it's going to become true. But I actually think it is. So North Idaho has 22,000 veterans alone in a relatively small population. So it's damn near everybody you meet has that background or a first responder background. You can't find stats on retired first responders up here. There's no way to track that, but you'll see, like, anecdotally, there are quite a few. There's tons of retiree groups up here. I'm involved in several myself, and it seems like just about everybody you meet is a former cop, former firefighter, or medic. And I like that. You walk around town, you look at people, and you can see the way they look around, and you see their awareness, and it makes me feel comfortable to have that. So if you're like that as well, you'd probably like Athol. Okay, so we're still driving around Farragut State Park. It's huge, by the way. I'll get into some stats about that here in a minute. But I wanted to talk about drive time from Athol to various other locations that would be popular destinations. So from Athol to Coeur d'Alene, you're looking at about a 25 to 30 minute drive, depending, of course, where you're at in Athol and where you're going in Coeur d'Alene. Heading north, you're about 20 minutes to Sandpoint, which is another great city up here. And then if you're trying to get to the Spokane International Airport from Athol, which is the nearest international airport, you're looking about an hour drive time. Spokane's a great airport, so highly recommend flying out of there if you're trying to get back home or wherever you're going. So just know that you're about an hour from Athol to the nearest airport, which I think kind of gives some good indicators. You've got hospitals in Sandpoint and in Kootenai Health down in Coeur d'Alene, so you've got easy access to there as well, and there is Life Flight up here if you're in need of quick access to emergency medical care. All right, we're standing in Farragut State Park right now. We're down by Beaver Bay, which is probably one of the cooler swimming areas here. You've got paddleboarding. It's this neat little bay. It's really cool looking. Farragut State Park is about 4,000 acres total, and they get about 500,000 visitors a year. So it's very popular. I don't know how many of those are local or versus non-local, but there is definitely a strong local contingency here of people coming down to enjoy Farragut. It's got a public shooting range, like I said, 4,000 acres, tons and miles and miles and miles of trails. They groom trails in the wintertime for cross-country skiing, hiking, bike riding, all the stuff, and then the boat launch, obviously, which we were just at. So you've got tons of access to the outdoors here. It's such a cool feature to have right here in Athol. All right, so Farragut has tons of campgrounds as well, or tons of camping spaces where you guys can come out here and enjoy with the family. But it has a really cool history, and that's something I wanted to highlight. In World War II, it was a naval training base. Yes, a naval training base in North Idaho from about 1942 to 1946. It was selected because it's an inland location. It was fairly safe as far as being attacked. And the coolest thing, at one point, it was Idaho's largest city with a population of about 55,000 people at the time. There were quite a few sailors that came through here during their training. I think it was, so over 290,000 completed basic training here at Farragut in the 30-month period of its existence. And it was also a prisoner of war camp. Near the end of the war, it housed nearly 900 German POWs who stayed here through the end of the war and then were shipped back. So kind of an interesting history. And as you drive around, there's some older historic looking buildings that you can see, even an old brig, which I think is kind of a unique part of North Idaho culture and history. Pend Oreille, it was probably chosen for the same reason they have a submarine base there now. Yes, the US Navy has a submarine base on Lake Pend Oreille because it is so deep. It's over 1,200 feet deep, and it does a good job of giving them a place to test sonar on submarines. So they have scale model sonar or submarines that they do that are unmanned that cruise Lake Pend Oreille. My wife swears she saw one time. I can't confirm nor deny, but I believe her. So they're out there, which is kind of unique and very interesting. Okay, we're off of Duke Road in Athol, one of those, and checking out some of these newer lots. A lot of these have been bought up already, but there are still some lots available out here in Athol. Some of them require you to use the builder that's purchased the lot, but some of them do not. So this is a good time to plug our business, our partner business, North Idaho Experience Custom Homes. We do custom home builds. They are building my home right now, so they're doing a killer job. That's John and Spencer. You can find them on the socials as well, and they'll be popping up on more and more of our videos as we go along. But I thought this would be a good spot to talk about one of the cool features of Athol, especially when you're in the outside of the city limits of Athol, which is a pretty small area. So once you're outside of those limits, there is a minimum, it's all rural or zoned Kootenai County rural agriculture. So the minimum size of a lot is 5 acres in that zone, which is really cool because that means you're not going to have high density housing out here. So that's what appeals to a lot of people, and that's why I think a lot of cops love it out here, because you can get that space. You still have a sense of community because more than likely all your neighbors are flying a thin blue line flag or thin red line flag, which is pretty cool. As we're driving around, I saw a ton of them. I've sold a few homes to cops up here, so I know they're here. And I think that's a big appeal, and that's why I think that Athol is like the spot for retired first responders, is because you have that small town feel, you have some space, it's still relatively quiet up here, and it's just incredibly beautiful. Plus you got a shooting range close by. What more do you need? All right, seems like a good time to talk about crime as well, since you may be thinking about that. That's usually on top of minds if you come from that career. Athol has very, very low crime. It is served by Kootenai County Sheriff's Office and Idaho State Police. For all the law enforcement needs up here, since it's unincorporated, you don't have an Athol Police Department. And let's see, crime rate is currently 1,177 incidents per 100,000 people. Obviously there's not 100,000 people here, that's per capita. So it's really low. It's like 48% lower than the national average. And that's for violent crime and property crime, things like that. So pretty darn safe place to live. Like we always say, an armed society is a polite society, and you can damn well bet that everybody up here is armed. So it kind of keeps out the riffraff, in my opinion. On top of that, crime has decreased by 26% year over year, which is obviously makes it very safe and appealing for retirees. And part of that might be the type of people that are moving here. Part of that might be our wonderful law enforcement that we have here in North Idaho. They're very proactive. They're fantastic human beings, and I think they do a really good job. All right, we're out here at the crossings, which is right off of 95. It's as you're driving north on 95, it's off to the right. You'll see it. The Super One Foods is probably the big anchor building there. I took some notes on all the things that are in here because I didn't want to forget anything. So you've got Super One, which is a very nice grocery store, actually. Tractor Supply. There's an immediate care and a family doctor's office there as well. There's a dentist, Elite Tire, AutoZone. You've got a gas station, Sweet Lou's Barbecue, which there's one in Coeur d'Alene as well, great place. And then Idaho Guns. It is a very, very large gun shop, which is worth checking out if you are in Athol. As you cut into across 95 into like the older downtown part of Athol, there's gonna be pizza places, coffee shops, more gas stations, Mexican food. So all that stuff, we'll get some B-roll there so you guys can see what that looks like as well, because this is definitely the newer side, but we'll pop over there just so you can get a feel of the whole area. All right, let's talk about schools for a minute. Maybe you've got grandkids that are moving here with you, or maybe, like a lot of cops, you're on your second or third marriage and you've got little kids again. Just saying, it happens. This is Athol Elementary. It is right behind us right here. So this is in Athol. We're just a few minutes from the Super One where we were just filming. If you want to go to, so once you step up to the middle school, the high school, those are going to be in Spirit Lake. This is all in the Lakeland School District, which is one of the better school districts up here. It's very conservative, and lots of people that have kids here tell me they love it. So like I said, Spirit Lake will have the middle school and high school. That's like 10 minutes from here. So it's a very short drive down 54 and we'll get you there. But wanted to point out that there are school options here if you do have kids with you, if you have a young family, or you're bringing the grandkids with you. All right, big question people have always is the weather. Athol is in a bit of a snow belt, so keep that in mind. So when Coeur d'Alene gets 40 to 42 inches a year on average, Athol's is going to be in the 50 inches to 60 inches range. So anytime we get snow down in Coeur d'Alene, they're going to get a little bit more up here. Is it incredibly overwhelming? Not necessarily, but it is something to factor in that you will need snow moving equipment, especially if you're on larger property with a big driveway. A lot of people will use a four-wheeler with a plow, or a side-by-side with a plow, or a tractor with a plow to plow the driveways. But honestly, it's kind of fun, especially if you're retired and have lots of free time. It's a fairly relaxing activity. If you don't want to invest in one of those, you can have a snowblower and spend a little bit more time doing that and just have a walk behind snowblower. I don't recommend shoveling. That would take quite a while. So there's your Snowfall. Weather temperatures in the summer, you're gonna average in the 80s and 90s, just like Coeur d'Alene and most of North Idaho. And then in the wintertime, you're gonna average in the 20s and 30s. You will get occasional temperatures over 100 and you will get occasional temperatures below 0, but it's pretty rare. So overall, a fairly nice climate with 4 distinct seasons, which I love. You've got a beautiful fall, spring is awesome, and then summer is absolutely outstanding. And then obviously wintertime. If you like wintertime like I do, it's a good time to be up here as well. A couple other things to factor in: the sunlight. So summertime, the days are very long because we're so far north. Your sun is the sunrise will be at like 4:30 in the morning, and it won't get dark until like 9:30 or 10. So you've got an extremely long period of daylight. In the wintertime is the opposite, and this is what gets a lot of people. Those January, February, March months are the shortest days of the year as far as time-wise. You're gonna get daylight from 8 to 4, 8 to 4:30, something like that. But you're also gonna get more of the overcast skies in that same time period as well, and that can wear on people. So just be aware of that. That's the time that you want to go take a trip somewhere warm and get some sunshine. That's when you get your red light therapy. Make sure to get out in public and hang out with your friends and have those community connections, because those are the hardest time of the year for people, is that early winter or January, February, March months. That's when seasonal affective disorder can really kick in for you. So just keep that in mind. It's something to be aware of. Enjoy your summers, enjoy your springs and your falls, get every bit of life out of them as you can. And then in the wintertime, it's time to hunker down and get caught up on Yellowstone or whatever you watch. All right, somebody out there thought I was gonna forget to mention Silverwood Theme Park. It is the largest theme park in the Pacific Northwest, and it's located right here in Athol, Idaho. Who knew? It's pretty cool. It's super clean. You're not going to get a bunch of gang members running around there like you might in other states. And they've got a enormous water park. I can hear the screams of happy children. And it's got an enormous water park attached to it as well. So it's a really cool place. If you like theme parks, unfortunately most cops don't, but if you do, it's here. And they've got a huge RV park across 95, so you can bring your RVs up, your friends can come visit, park there for the week, and then there's a tunnel underneath 95 that gets you over to Silverwood. But it's pretty cool, and it's fun, it's good, it's clean, great for families. I'll throw the drone up so you can check that out as well. All right, folks, that concludes our tour of Athol, Idaho. I hope you guys found it informative and a beautiful thing to see, because this area is one of my favorites in North Idaho. If you guys are looking to make that move right now or 12 months from now, it doesn't matter, give us a call, text, or email. Our team would love to help you guys make that smooth move up here. And remember to check out our podcast on all podcast audio platforms and on YouTube. It is also called North Idaho Experience. Thank you guys, and I will catch you on the next video.